Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu was-salamu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Bismillah, let's inshallah continue then with the remaining surahs in this group of surahs. We took up to Al-Jathiyah yesterday. So today we want to take Al-Ahqaf, which is the last Makki surah in this group of surahs. And then three Madani surahs, Surah Muhammad, or Surah Qital, it is called also, and then Surah Al-Fath, and then Al-Hujurat. So this will then conclude this fifth group of surahs, which is centered around Tawheed. So let's inshallah start to look at Ahqaf. Just a minute. So that, okay, alhamdulillah. So, from yesterday, this was the overview of the surahs. Can you cut with something? And you can see from Fussilat, this we mentioned the enemies of Allah and the Wali Allah compared, and also the fact that Waliullah are the people who do not only just believe in Allah, they also invite to Allah. They are the best people who call towards Allah. Da'a ilallah. Then Ashura, Surah Ashura is the collective submission of the believers to Allah by using Shura, the mechanism of Shura, which is to consult each other regarding their Amrin Jami'in, their collective matters, which means they must be together. And this is according to the Sharia. So establish the Sharia collectively and aqimuddin. And then Surah Az-Zukhruf, we mentioned that Allah Ta'ala, He is the Ilah. وَالَّذِي فِي السَّمَاءِ إِلَهٌ وَفِي الْأَرْضِ إِلَهٌ. He is the Ilah on the earth, heavens and on the earth. So you should obey Him as Ilah on the earth as well. And Surah Dukhan emphasizes the purpose of the creation, which is La ilaha illallah, only worship Allah Ta'ala. And Al-Jathiyah again, وَلَهُ الْكِبْرِيَاءُ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. To Allah belongs the grandeur and the majesty, the highest nobility in the heavens and the earth. So accept and acknowledge this. So now Surah Al-Ahqaf, we will take from the summaries booklet. This teaches Tawheed and uses evidences. You can see there evidence-based criticisms of idolatry, of shirk. These false shuraka, they do not hear, see, they cannot cause harm or good, they cannot accept your dua. So let's look at these ayat 1 to 6 of Surah Al-Ahqaf. And if we just look at the central theme as well from the diagram, the central theme of Surah Al-Ahqaf is believe in the Quran revealed by the Aziz and Al-Hakim. Take heed from the lesson of the mushrik people of Ad and become a caller and a preacher of the Quran, just like the jinns, because the jinns have been mentioned in this surah. So let's take the first 6 ayat of Surah Al-Ahqaf. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hamim. Tanzilul Kitabi min Allah al-Aziz al-Hakim. And as you can notice, all of these surahs, the Hawameen especially, all start with Kitab, yeah? The Kitab, Quran. ما خلقنا السماوات والأرض وما بينهما إلا بالحق. So this has been repeated, what was repeated in Al-Jathiyah and Al-Dukhan. Allah did not create but with purpose and for a specific time period. وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا عَمَّا أُنذِرُوا مُعْرِضُونَ. When the people of disbelief, they are warned, they turn away. Allah Ta'ala is then telling them, look at who you are worshipping other than Allah. قل, say to them, أَرَأَيْتُمْ مَا تَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ أَرُونِي مَاذَا خَلَقُوا مِنَ الْأَرْضِ. What have these who you worship other than Allah created on the earth or from the earth? أَمْ لَهُمْ شِرْكٌ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ. Or do they have some sort of partnership agreement with Allah in the heavens? ائتوني بكتاب من قبل هذا أو آثارة من علم إن كنتم صادقين. So bring us some evidence. ومن أضل ممن يدعو من دون الله من لا يستجيب له إلى يوم القيامة. Subhanallah, look at this. Allah Ta'ala is saying, who is the most misguided is the person who is calling upon that thing or that person or that deity that will not be able to respond even until the day of judgment. Meaning cannot respond because it doesn't exist. These shuraka, they are a figment of your imagination. وَهُمْ عَنْ دُعَائِهِمْ غَافِلُونَ. And they are absolutely unaware of your dua. Even if you are calling to somebody or something that exists, like the angels or somebody who has died or a jinn, yeah, that does actually exist, they don't know that you are calling to them. So this is the weakness of your belief. ضَعُفَ الطَّالِبُ وَالْمَطْلُوبُ. If you remember from Surah, which Surah? Hajj. Surah Al-Hajj. And Allah Ta'ala is saying, وَإِذَا حُشِرَ النَّاسُ كَانُوا لَهُمْ أَعْدَاءً وَكَانُوا بِعِبَادَتِهِمْ كَافِرِينَ. And when the people are gathered on that day, they who were invoked, worshipped, will be enemies to them. A'da. Yes? The A'da of Allah here are worshipping other than Allah, yeah? But those that they worshipped, who don't have a right to be worshipped, they will say, we are your enemies. So for example, yeah? People who worship Isa alayhi salam. On the day of judgment, Isa alayhi salam will say, I'm an enemy to you, I'm not a friend to you. You worshipped me, this is wrong, this is shirk. Allah Ta'ala is saying, this is your deen that you have self-imposed on yourselves. There is no evidence for this. Then Allah, He rejects the disbelievers' reservations regarding the Quran. And then there's a parable of a pious and a wicked son which shows the importance of raising children with Iman. So one righteous child, he is asking Allah Ta'ala to make me grateful. أوزعني, this word أوزعني, you know what does it mean? أوزعني. No, that's no. أوزعني. أوزعني, if you remember the story of Sulaiman and his army, yes? He was placing this army in ranks and files, yes? Yuza'un. Yes? Awzani is very interesting. It is talking about your inside. Awzani is, oh Allah, stop me from following my internal desires which go against your desire. This is Awzani. Yes? So he is asking Allah Ta'ala to put in his heart the shukr for Allah and his parents. And the other child, he is arguing with his parents regarding Allah's tawheed. And then the end, it encourages patience and presents 4 messengers as supreme role models by going through the history of messengers. I think the last ayat of this surah, let me just quickly go to the end. Okay, we go from the last 3 ayat. أَوَلَمْ يَرَوْا أَنَّ اللَّهَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ وَلَمْ يَعْيَ بِخَلْقِهِنَّ. Allah is saying, the one who has created the heavens and the earth, and he finds it not difficult at all. Yes, it's not as if Allah Ta'ala, he becomes tired. Is he not بِقَادِرٍ عَلَىٰ أَن يُحْيِي الْمَوْتَى? Will he not be able to recreate the dead? Of course, Bala. Bala. Of course, no doubt. إِنَّهُ عَلَىٰ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٍ. He is able to do everything. وَيَوْمَ يُعْرَضُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا عَلَى النَّارِ. And when the people of disbelief, they are presented in front of the fire, it will be asked to them, is this not the haqq? Qalu bala, they will say, of course, wa rabbina, and we swear by our Rabb. Qala fadhuqul adhab, then it would be said to them, taste this punishment because of your kufr. And the believers, Allah Ta'ala is saying to them, fasbir, especially to the Prophet ﷺ, fasbir, remain steadfast on your mission. Kama sabara ulul azmi min ar-rusul, just like the ulul azm which were mentioned in which surah? The 5. Yesterday we mentioned. Surah Shura. وَوَصَّى بِهِ نُوحًا وَإِبْرَاهِيمَ Musa, Isa, and Aqimuddin. Remember the ayah? Shara'a lakum min ad-dini. The ulul azm are the most highest of the highest. It says they are those of determination, ulul azm. Like Nuh alayhi salam, how long he strived. Ibrahim alayhi salam, he went through, even he was thrown into the fire. Musa alayhi salam, he went through all the difficulty against Fir'aun, and Isa alayhi salam, he was also persecuted. And they, the A'da'ullah, enemies of Allah, they thought that they crucified him. But he, of course, Allah Ta'ala did not allow that to happen. So Allah Ta'ala is saying, be like those of resolve. وَلَا تَسْتَعْجِلْ لَهُمْ, do not find that you feel that, oh, we wish that quickly this matter would have been resolved. No. Because when it is, كَأَنَّهُمْ يَوْمَ يَرَوْنَ مَا يُعَدُونَ لَمْ يَلْبَثُوا إِلَّا سَاعَةً مِّن نَهَارٍ. It will be on the day they see that which they are promised, it will be as if they remained in this dunya not for less but an hour. Balagh. This is the balagh means you have done your job. This is the conveying of the message. فَهَلْ يُهْلَكُ إِلَّا الْقَوْمُ الْفَاسِقُونَ, then who will be destroyed except for those who are fasiq. So with that, as I mentioned, as you can see here from Surah Saba, yes, Surah Saba, Fatir, Yasin, As-Safat, Sad, Az-Zumar, Ghafir, Fussilat, Shura, Az-Zukhruf, Ad-Dukhan, Al-Jathiyah, and now Al-Ahqaf. These surahs, these are the Makki surahs of this group, which are all about Tawheed. Yes? And if you now remember to look at that table regarding Tawheed, the groups, group 5, there is a table which, yani briefly, it is not comprehensive, but it gives you some idea of the comparison between Tawheed and Shirk. Yeah? So especially with the Shirk, we should know that Allah's essence, Shirk fi Zat, has been mentioned. Then Shirk in the creation or the Rububiyyah of Allah, to think something other than Allah has created this, or this has self-created, or it just created, we don't know how, and we say, well, we don't know. No, we know Allah created it. And then Shirk in terms of the Sharia, the guidance, Shara'a lakum min ad-din. And then his legislation is Hakimiyah. And then in the dua. Yes, so these are different aspects of Shirk. And then we mentioned that Tawheed is all about ikhlas, to be khalis, to be mukhlis, and to become then mukhlas, chosen by Allah. And now we want to look at what are the expectations of the believers in Tawheed. 3 Madani surahs. You see the pattern, yeah? You see the pattern? In this group, and you will find this pattern in the previous group. Yeah? All of the surahs were Makki except Ahzab. Surah Al-Ahzab told us what is the expectation of believing in Rasulullah. You remember that, yeah? You should remember these. There are 5 things. 5 things about the Prophet ﷺ that we should know that is proof that we believe in him. One is to love him, then to see him as a role model, then to make him your judge, then to follow his mission, continue his mission of conveying the message because he is the seal of the prophets. And then lastly, what's the last thing about him? To send salatu wassalam ala Rasulillah alayhi salatu wassalam. So now what are the expectations from the people who say they are believers, muwahhid? Who are the people who are true muwahhid? The people who are, inshallah, able to, Allah Ta'ala would say to them, وَمَا كَانَ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ, that these people, they are no mushrik. The title he gave to Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam, حَنِيفًا مُسْلِمًا وَمَا كَانَ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. They are Hanif. They are solely loyal, directed towards, dedicated to Allah alone. وَمَا كَانَ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. They do not associate Allah's right with anybody else. They give Allah his due right. And in doing so, they give everybody else their due right as Allah has designated. So Surah Muhammad, and then Surah Al-Fath, and then Al-Hujurat. So now in Surah Muhammad, we will find that this is, let me draw this for you, inshallah. Surah Muhammad or Surah Qital, another name is Qital, yeah? Surah Muhammad is revealed in we could say first to the second year of Hijri, just before Badr, yeah? Pre-Badr. At the same time as was revealed Surah Al-Baqarah and a few other surahs. Can you find for me the period of revelation for Hujurat? And then the second one will be Fath, Surah Al-Fath. This is very obvious. This is the 6th year of Hijrah, because this is when the Sulh of Hudaybiyah, the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, sorry, you should say Hudaybiyah, not Hudaybiyah. Hudaybiyah, 6th of Hijri, yeah? And then Surah Al-Hujurat, which is the last surah in this group, 9th year after Hijri. Sure? Just double check. Okay. So you can see that there is a timeline here, yeah? Okay. So look at this in Surah Muhammad. If we go to the timeline, Sirah timeline, which is on the website. We go to the timeline. We can see that the period of revelation for Surah Muhammad is just before the Battle of Badr. Yeah, so this is the first year and part of the second year, because Badr took place in Ramadan. Yeah, and Ramadan is the 9th year of the Hijri calendar, 9th year. Okay, and then we find Battle of Badr took place, and this was a big blow to the Mushrikeen. Yes, this was Yawm al-Furqan. Everybody now knew what was the truth, what was the haqq, what was the batil. And then they came back in Uhud. This was another defeat for the disbelievers, although it was apparently a big blow for the believers also, momentarily, but it was a great, huge lesson. And then in the 5th year of Hijrah, Ahzab took place, that we looked at in Surah Al-Ahzab, where all the confederates, the United League of Nations of the time around the Arabian Peninsula, they united and they brought all their might, 10,000, against the believers. But Allah Ta'ala, He swept them away with a strong storm. Yes, and the Prophet ﷺ, he said that after this year now, they will not attack you, you will attack them. So the tables are now going to turn. Okay. So Surah Muhammad talks about the munafiqeen, yes, talks about qital, and talks about something again and again and again, the mushrikeen and their planning and plotting and how it has all come to naught. Yes, it has completely been destroyed by the will of Allah. Okay, so some ayat that keep coming in this Surah Muhammad. Let's look at the diagram first. Sorry. Surah Muhammad. Success in this life and the hereafter requires jihad with your wealth and yourself. So this is the expectation of Allah from those who believe in Allah's oneness. What is Allah's expectation? Infaq and jihad. You remember Surah Al-Baqarah? You remember the 5 points in Surah Al-Baqarah? The first is Iman, then Islam, then vision, then infaq, and jihad. Alhamdulillah. Yes? So this ties in with that. Allah Ta'ala is saying, if you believe in Allah truly, then you will not sit and allow the batil to even exist, let alone spread. You will be the remover of batil and the one who establishes al-haq. Okay? And Allah mentions in this surah, I think next surah, that He sent the messenger with the deen al-haq to prevail over all other deens. So let's take some of the ayat from this surah then. Allah Ta'ala mentions right in the beginning of this surah regarding the disbelievers, the mushrikeen. الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَصَدُّوا عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. Those who disbelieved, they themselves did not follow the way of Allah and they stopped others from following the way of Allah, the mushrikeen. What has happened to them now that Makki period is over and Madini period is starting? أَضَلَّ أَعْمَالَهُمْ. Yes, all of their deeds, all of their struggles against Allah and His Messenger, أَضَلَّ. أَضَلَّ means they are lost. Yeah? But for the believers, وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَآمَنُوا بِمَا نُزِّلَ عَلَى مُحَمَّدٍ وَهُوَ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّهِمْ كَفَّرَ عَنْهُمْ سَيِّئَاتِهِمْ. Allah Ta'ala, He will remove from them their bad deeds. وَأَصْلَحَ بَالَهُمْ. He will amend their condition. He will do the sulh, meaning He will make their condition better. Because the kufr, the people of kufr, kafaru ittabi'u batil. They follow the batil, and the people of belief, they follow al-haq. So Allah Ta'ala, He is emphasizing this. Then He mentions in this surah ahkam regarding war and the philosophy behind jihad. The philosophy behind jihad is to establish the haqq. And Allah Ta'ala, He is telling the believers that He is their mawla. Yes, He is their helper if they are the people who strive in His cause. Let's take this, I think ayat 15 and 16. Where is the ayah with the mawla? I missed it. Here we are. ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ مَوْلَى الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. The people who believe in Allah and they strive for His cause. Yeah, strive for. Many believe Muslims, they say, oh, we make dua to Allah, we believe in Him. Why doesn't He help us? Yeah. Because Allah Ta'ala says, in yansurkumullah. Yes, if you help Allah. Yeah, if you help Allah, what is the ayah? No, what is the ayah? Yansurkumullahu fala waliya. No, the other ayah. If you help Allah, Allah will. In tansurullah yansurkum. That's it. If you help Allah, how do you help Allah? By obeying Him, establishing His Sharia and inviting to that Sharia. If you do that, then Allah will help you. But we don't do that and we ask Allah to help us. It makes no sense, yeah? Nonsense. So Allah Ta'ala is saying, for those people who believe in Allah and they strive, ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ مَوْلَى الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَأَنَّ الْكَافِرِينَ لَا مَوْلَى لَهُمْ. Allah, He is the protector. He will give them the result. He is the Mawla, protector, guardian, the backing, the strength behind the believers. For the disbelievers, there is no Mawla. And I mentioned before, after the Battle of Uhud, Abu Sufyan, who was not Muslim yet, and Khalid ibn Walid, who was not yet Muslim, they said, Ulul Hubl and Ulul Izza. Yeah? Uzza. Uzza lana, la is Uzza lakum. They said, we have Uzza, you have no Uzza. It's idol. And Allah Ta'ala's Rasul told the companions to say, Allahu Mawla. Yeah? Mawlana, meaning He's our Mawla. La Mawla lakum. There's no Mawla for you. Yes, Allah is with us. There's no Mawla with you. Nobody with you. And then Allah mentions the rewards of these believers in the hereafter. Look at these beautiful rewards in the Jannah. Can you close this window, please? Someone is coming. Masalul Jannah. Look at the Jannah that these people will, inshallah, if we strive for the cause of Allah, infaq and jihad, then Allah will give us these anhar. Masalul Jannati allati wu'ida al-muttaqun. And we appreciate this more when it's hot, yeah? Fiha anhar. There are rivers of water which never ever stagnates, yeah? Clean, pure, fresh water. And min labanin lam yataghayyar ta'muhu. And there are rivers of milk, yeah? Milk. And there are rivers of drink which never, which is beautiful to drink, tasty. وَأَنْهَارٌ مِنْ أَسَلٍ مُصَفَّى. And pure honey, subhanallah. And for them in there are all types of fruits and maghfirah from Allah. Allah, He has forgiven them. Allah Ta'ala is saying, are these people the same as those people who will be in the hellfire forever? And what will they have to drink? Scalding hot water, a'udhu billahi min dhalik, which will sever, which will cut through their intestines. And Allah protect us from that. Allah Ta'ala is saying, these are the rewards if you make infaq and jihad, fi sabidillah. And then those people among the Prophet ﷺ who are the munafiqeen, they say, وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ يَسْتَمِعُ إِلَيْكَ حَتَّى إِذَا خَرَجُوا مِنْ عِنْدِكَ قَالُوا لِلَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمَ مَاذَا قَالَ آنِفًا. Yes, when the Prophet ﷺ is talking about jihad and qital, that we will have to go and fight now in the next section or the next era of this battle against batil, they go to the people of knowledge. So this could be their chiefs, or this could be some of the ulama of the other, like Bani Israel, etc. ماذا قال آنفا. What has He said? أولئك الذين اتبع الله على قلوبهم. Allah Ta'ala, He has sealed their hearts because of their following of their desire, because they didn't want to go and fight. Yeah, this surah is telling us, because of time we can't go into detail, because this surah is telling us that qital is coming. Yeah, qital will be needed because the Quraysh and the enemies of Allah, they are plotting against you and they will want to wipe you out. Your job is to wipe them out. Okay? There's no such thing as coexistence between haqq and batil. Okay? This is the shaitan's idea of coexistence. Live and let live. No. You live as Allah wants to live, and you don't let people who don't want to live as Allah to live as they want. No, you invite them to live as Allah wants them to live. And the people who follow the guidance, وَالَّذِينَ اهْتَدَوْا, the people who follow the guidance, they are guided. زَادَهُمْ هُدًى. Allah Ta'ala increases them in guidance. وَآتَاهُمْ تَقْوَاهُمْ. Then Allah gives them taqwa. So if you want to increase our taqwa, follow Allah's guidance. When Allah guides you to something, you follow it, Allah will guide you to more guidance. He will open up more doors to more good deeds. Yeah, subhanallah. And this is absolutely true. If you strive in His cause in one avenue, He will open up doors to many things. Wallahi, this is absolute truth. Absolutely true. Absolutely, this is true. There's no doubt in this whatsoever. You will find when you start to work for Allah Ta'ala's cause, then Allah Ta'ala, He will help you. And you will see that, inshallah. Okay, moving on. Qital, regarding Qital. They say, why is a surah not sent down regarding the Qital? Yeah, the hypocrites. Because the hypocrites were saying that, oh, this Qital business, this is a bit far-fetched. Yeah, we don't need to. We are in Medina now. Why do we need to fight the Quraysh? Leave them to them. We stay where we are, yeah? Let's be lovey-dovey about it and utopian about it. And, just let's live and let live. No, the danger is real and the attack is imminent. It can come any time. So then when Allah has said, Qital is now, like in Surah Hajj, Allah Ta'ala mentions the idhan is permission to fight, yeah? Permission. Udina lilladina. Now when they are told Qital will become something you will have to do, they will look at their reaction. But when a precise surah is revealed and battle is mentioned, Qital, you see those in whose hearts is a disease, meaning the hypocrites, looking at you with the look of one overcome by death. So the person is so scared of what you are saying. What would have been better for them is ta'ah. It would have been better that they had obeyed. Yes, وَقَوْلُ مَعْرُوفٌ, and to say that which is right. And then Allah Ta'ala is saying, when the matter of fighting was determined, if they had been true to Allah, it would have been better for them. But they turned away. Yeah, they always turn away. So this is mentioned regarding the munafiqeen. And then this very famous ayah, right in the middle of the mention of the munafiqeen, the hypocrites. Hypocrisy in this circumstances is when Allah Ta'ala's deen needs you, you turn away from it. Yeah, deen needs you. Deen needs your ability, your time, your money, and you say, no, I'm too busy. I have my education, then I have my career, then I have to excel in my career. I have to become the best in my career. I have no time for infaq and jihad. And then I have to become not the manager, then the consultant, then the executive, and so on and so forth. And then before you know it, you have nothing to give to the deen because you become old and grey, and that's it, finished. Yes, this is an aspect of nifaq. Yeah, Allah needs us now. Yes, biggest deception that we are unfortunately in the grip of is that parents don't teach the children Quran and Hadith properly because they say, no, they're young. It's time for them to play, yeah? It's playtime. They learn through play. And all the emphasis is, look, if you want to know what is your priority for your children, look at what you spend your money and time on for them. Maths tuition, science tuition, English tuition, every tuition under the sky. Every book, every resource under the sky for the children, for their maths, English, science. And you cannot wait for them to do the GCSE. You would like them to be born with GCSE in their hand. And A-level, and quicker, and quicker. Where are you going to go with this quicker? All the emphasis is on the academic education of this dunya. That's it. No time for the deen, education of the deen. And we are happy with, my child has finished Quran. We will do Quran Khatam now. We'll have a party, and that's the end of the Quran is finished. Khatam means now finished, no more Quran in his life or her life. We have got rid of this headache. We have to finish it quickly. And then we will live our life. There's no life without Quran. And then we say, oh, the child is in key stage 3, has to prepare for GCSE, 3 years. So no time. And then GCSE, oh, no time for Quran, no time for Islam, no time for Hadith, no time to learn Arabic, no time. A-level, oh, this is very, very crucial because A-level will determine the university. I want my child to go to Russell Group University. Russell Group University, as if this is a ticket to Jannah. And then in the university, you know, my child must get first class because she must get the best profession. And then the child goes to the professional life. And during all this time, this child has not even realized, has not been trained. This child's lifestyle is not tuned with Quran. Then the child doesn't know what Quran is. Wallahi, many people I know, they don't even know when to start reading Quran, how to start, what to do with it. They're puzzled. Because we weren't trained. We don't train our children to read Quran, to study it, to think about it, to contemplate it. Allah Ta'ala is saying, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَمْ عَلَىٰ قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا. It's a very dangerous ayah. Yes? أَقْفَالُهَا means locks. The heart is locked. Just as my Ustadh, he explained, the heart which is locked is like a room which is locked. Can you get inside a locked room? No. Nothing will go into that room. It's locked. So when we don't do tadabbur of Quran, tadabbur is to contemplate, to think, to process, to analyze, to relate the teachings of the Quran to you, me, now, here, and for the Ummah, based on the tafsir of the Quran, which is the meaning of the ayat as Allah intended it, which we gain from the Quran itself and other parts of the Quran and the Prophet's actions and sayings and the actions and sayings of the Sahaba. Yeah? Tadabbur of Quran. Think honestly to yourself. Think honestly to yourself. When was the last time I actually sat and thought about the Quran seriously? Just as seriously as I do when I write my UCAS statement. UCAS statement has become passport to Jannah as if. Or your CV. My CV must be perfect. I'm not saying that we shouldn't do all those things. But if we make that our priority, there is a grave and there is a great danger of hypocrisy creeping in. Yes, because we are turning away from Allah Ta'ala, He is inviting us to respond. Yeah? Remember yesterday? Yastajibu. Khair. And Allah, He has mentioned in this surah, in ayah 31, we will definitely test you. Yeah? O believers, we will test you, just like it was mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah. But both of these surahs are contemporary, if you know what I mean. Yeah? Both revealed in the same type of time frame. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ, we will definitely test you حَتَّى until نَعْلَمَ الْمُجَاهِدِينَ مِنْكُمْ وَالصَّابِرِينَ, until it is known and it is clear who are the people who are going to work hard, strive for Allah's cause, and who will remain steadfast. And Allah Ta'ala, He will know those people who are not, and then He will tell you about your affairs, test you in your affairs. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَصَدُّوا عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَشَاقُّوا الرَّسُولَ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا تَبَيَّنَ لَهُمُ الْهُدَى لَنْ يَضُرُّوا اللَّهَ شَيْئًا وَسَيُحْبِطُ أَعْمَالَهُم. Those people who, again, the disbelievers who are trying to stop others from the deen, and they are shaq is not just opposed, they are vehemently, yes, they are extremely, they hate the Prophet ﷺ, and they want to oppose him tooth and nail with every aspect that they can and with every resource. Allah Ta'ala is saying they will not be able to harm Allah in any way, and all of their deeds, they are worthless on the Day of Judgment. So there are two types of deeds here in this surah of the disbelievers. أَضَلَّ أَعْمَالَهُم, yes? That the work and the planning that they did in this dunya against the deen, this in the dunya came to nothing. This is one, yeah? Okay? And the other is سَيُحْبِطُ حَبْدُ. Habd is referring to the hereafter, that all of their deeds that they thought they were doing which are good, which will bring them closer to Allah, yeah? Like we mentioned, Zulfa, they think this will bring us closer to Allah. All of this, like Surah At-Tawbah mentions, Siqayat al-Hajj, Yeah, you think that giving water to the pilgrims and the looking after of the haram, etc., this is the same as belief and jihad? No, this is not the same. Yeah. So all their deeds would be nothing. Haba'an manthura. Yes, dust and ashes that would be blown in the wind. Allah Ta'ala, He's telling them. Success is what? Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu atiyullah wa atiyur rasul wa la tubtilu a'malakum. Obey Allah and the Messenger and do not invalidate. Batil means that it becomes nothing, your deeds. And then in the end of the surah, Allah Ta'ala, He warns us. Ha antum ha'ula'i tud'auna litunfiqu fi sabilillahi faminkum man yabkhal. Here you are. Those invited to spend in the cause of Allah, they are stingy. They withhold, bukhl, because of the greed of this dunya. Allah Ta'ala says, whoever shows greed and stinginess, then this is against their own person. Because you are given an opportunity to give one deed and you will get 700 in the hereafter and more. So who will win out? Who will lose out? You will lose out. Wallahul ghani. Allah is self-sufficient. Antumul fuqara. You are in need. Allah is giving you the opportunity. Wa in tatawallaw. But if you turn back, if you turn away from what? Infaq and jihad fi sabilillah. Yastabdil qawman ghayrakum. This is Allah's sunnah. You remember the sunnah of Allah in the second group of surahs. What was it? Istisal and istibdal. Wipe out and replace. Again, Allah Ta'ala is saying to this, yastabdil, this is istibdal, yeah? He's saying to the believers, if you don't do your job, you will be replaced. Just like Bani Israel were replaced with you. And then after the Muslims, after the Prophet ﷺ, we find in the 13th century Christian era, yeah, that this deen, the Arabs were defeated by the Tatars, and the Bani Abbas Khilafah was dismantled, and then the Turks, the Tatars became Muslim, and then the Turks, they came from them. So from the Arabs, it went to the Turks. You see this? Yastabdil qawman ghayrakum. So this is the sunnah of Allah in front of us. Yes? Okay, moving on to Fath. So this is preparation for the battles that lie ahead. Yeah, the battles of Badr. And between Badr, before Badr, how many conflicts Prophet ﷺ and his believers, they had? 8. 4 of them are Ghazwa, in which the Prophet he went himself before Badr. This is in the first year and a half of coming to Medina. We have this concept that Medina was a nice reception and he was relaxing now after that. No, he was working hard. Yeah, 8 battles, small battles. And in this he was improving and he was increasing the political influence of the believers. And this was diminishing the political influence of the Quraysh. He was attacking the economic lifeline. Remember the caravans that are going to Syria? Yeah, he was an economic threat now to them. And he was ideologically spreading the idea, the deen, the tawheed. Yeah, so the Prophet, he's proactive in these avenues. So with that in mind, we see that then comes, after all these struggles, we find after the 5th year of Hijri, yes, the Prophet ﷺ, he has a dream, which is in this surah, Surah Al-Fath. Fath means victory, means the opening. He has a dream in which he sees that him and his Sahaba, they are making Umrah. They have entered Makkah peacefully in security, and they are doing the Umrah and the rituals of Umrah, yeah, the rites and rituals of Umrah. So he then, because we mentioned there are 4 modes of wahi, yeah? 4 modes of wahi in Surah Shura. One is what? First one? Wahi comes straight to the heart. Secondly, from behind a curtain. And thirdly, then Allah sends the angel. And the fourth is dreams. So Prophet saw this dream, so this is Wahi, that you will enter Makkah. So the believers, they left for Makkah. 1400 of the Sahaba, Ridwanullahi Ajma'in, the hypocrites didn't go with them because the believers were going into the lion's den. Into the lion's den, because they were going unarmed. Yes, they did not go to fight, 1400 of them. Going to Umrah, the Munafiqeen said, this is it. These people have really lost their mind, they have lost the plot. They are going, these crazy people, they are going to do Umrah in Makkah, and these people will be killed and slaughtered. Very good, let them go and commit this suicide. So now when the Quraysh heard about this, they were perplexed. Yes, because how do you deal with this? 1400 people coming. And they are known for their hospitality for the pilgrims. So that's one dilemma. Now they will be known for not being hospitable. The other dilemma is if they allow the Muslims to come in and roam around freely for 1400 of them, that means the Muslims have won and we are defeated. Yes, this would be a great embarrassment for them. Okay. So now how do we stop these people? So now you see how the tables are turning. Yes, why the tables were turning though? Because the believers were doing infaq and jihad. This is why the tables were turning. We have to, even the best of the best, the Prophet ﷺ and the believers, they had to do infaq and jihad for things to happen. Okay? So anyway, the Quraysh, they send to Hudaybiyah Suhail ibn Amr, who comes and he negotiates the treaty of Hudaybiyah with the Prophet ﷺ, which seems like a defeat because the treaty was very one-sided. Yes, it was in the favor of the mushrikeen and against the interest of the believers, apparently. But the greatest thing of it was that they agreed to peace for 10 years. This was the agreement. The Prophet ﷺ, at this point, he had sent Uthman radiallahu anhu to Makkah, but then the rumors were spread that Uthman had been shaheed, had been killed. And then the Prophet ﷺ, he took a bay'ah or ridwan, the pledge of allegiance, of the pleasure of Allah, to avenge his death and to die for the sake of Allah. This is called the Bayt of Ridwan. So this is the mention of this surah's background, Fath. Now this is a Fath because this is the victory, because this is the beginning of all the victories that came after. Yeah, Allah Ta'ala said, Inna fatahna laka fatha mubina. This is a clear victory. How is a victory? The Quraysh have had to come to the table, the diplomatic table. You know, these phrases are used today. Diplomatic table, just like the Taliban have come to the diplomatic table with the US this year. This is Fath Mubin. Clear victory, because now the believers are a power to be reckoned with. You cannot just ignore them. Allah Ta'ala is saying, this is the beginning of your victory now. Subhanallah al-Azim. So Allah Ta'ala mentions, وَيَنْصُرَكَ اللَّهُ نَصْرًا عَزِيزًا. Allah, He will give you this great victory. And look at this. Allah Ta'ala, He is saying to these believers who came with the Prophet ﷺ, these 1400, yeah? هُوَ الَّذِي أَنزَلَ السَّكِينَةَ فِي قُلُوبِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Allah Ta'ala, He sent down sakina, Remember we mentioned that one of the good hearts we should have is the heart with sakina, tranquility. Allah is giving that. Why? Because they strive in Allah's cause. لِيَزْدَادُوا إِيمَانًا مَعَ إِيمَانِهِمْ, to increase their iman. And to Allah belongs all the armies in the heavens and the earth. And then He will give them the greatest of rewards in the hereafter. But the munafiqeen, He will punish them. Yes, and they have all types of ideas about Allah which are all false. Allah Ta'ala, He is maghdub alayhim, yeah? Wa ghadib Allah alayhim. Allah is angry with them and His curse upon them, and He has prepared the Jahannam for the munafiqeen. And then Allah mentions this bay'ah, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يُبَايِعُونَكَ إِنَّمَا يُبَايِعُونَ اللَّهَ يَدُ اللَّهِ فَوْقَ أَيْدِيهِمْ. SubhanAllah, look at this. These believers who pledged the allegiance to the Prophet ﷺ, Allah Ta'ala is saying, my hand is that hand on top of your allegiance, which nobody sees, but Allah, He is saying, I am also part of this. Rasulullah is the representative of Allah on earth. He is making this pledge on behalf of Allah. But whoever goes back on this pledge after this, then that will be against him. But whoever fulfills this, then they would be given the greatest of rewards. Then the excuses of the munafiqeen. فَيَقُولُ لَكَ الْمُخَلَّفُونَ مِنَ الْأَعْرَابِ, the people who did not go with the Prophet ﷺ to Hudaybiyah, to Umrah, when you go back, what will they say? شَغَلَتْنَا أَمْوَالُنَا وَأَهْلُونَا فَاسْتَغْفِرْ لَنَا. Our properties, our business, our work, our careers, and our families kept us busy. So forgive us. And this, unfortunately, is the first excuse we make when it comes to any work for the deen. Oh, I'm busy at work. Huh? Or I am busy with family. That's it. So we should take heed from this. And there is no room for the excuse. For the believer who really believes in Allah and the Messenger and the cause, there's no excuse. And then Allah Ta'ala is telling us what He expects. Allah Ta'ala is saying that if you obey Allah and the Messenger, فَإِن تُطِيعُوا يُؤْتِكُمُ اللَّهُ أَجْرًا حَسَنًا, He will give you the best of rewards. But if you turn away, then there is punishment, just as it mentioned in the previous surah. And then Allah Ta'ala is saying, what is He pleased with? لَقَدْ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ. Allah is pleased with whom? The believers. إِذْ يُبَايِعُونَكَ تَحْتَ الشَّجَرَةِ. Those who made the pledge under the tree with the Prophet ﷺ. فَعَلِمَ مَا فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ. Allah knows what's in their hearts. That's why He sent the sakina. Yes, and He rewarded them with an imminent conquest, because straight after Hudaybiyah, the Prophet ﷺ, when he came back to Medina, immediately he went to attack Khaybar. And then Allah gave him victory there, and He gave him, with Khaybar was very rich and prosperous place, and lots of date palm trees. So Allah Ta'ala gave him maghanima kathira. He gave them all the riches. Subhanallah. Look how this victory is now changing the economic situation of the believers as well, because Allah is pleased with them, because their hearts were obedient to Allah. Yeah, hearts are obedient to Allah. This is what we are trying to train ourselves in Ramadan. Ramadan is the training of the Ummah for their hearts to become obedient to Allah, so that they will then obey Allah, they will respond to His call, and then they will do infaq, they will do jihad fi sabilillah, and then Allah will give them victory. Subhanallah. So Ramadan is so important for this mission. And let's take some last ayat. And the people of disbelief, fi qulubihim al-hamiyata hamiyat al-jahiliyah. In the hearts of the disbelievers is the hamiyah. Hamiyah means that your allegiance is with the times of ignorance. Their allegiance is with their people, not with Allah. But Allah, He sent the sakina. Look how many times this word sakina has come in this tranquility and peace upon the messenger, upon the believers. And look at this. He imposed upon them the word of righteousness. He gave them taqwa because they were worthy of it. Subhanallah. And then Allah Ta'ala says, لَقَدْ صَدَقَ اللَّهُ رَسُولَهُ رُؤْيَا بِالْحَقِّ. Certainly Allah showed the Prophet ﷺ the vision in truth. You will definitely, but not this year, yeah, not in the 6th year of Hijri. You will in the future. You will definitely enter Masjid al-Haram, inshallah, amineen, in safety. And you will shave your heads and shorten your hairs and your prayers, not fearing anybody, not your prayers, sorry, your hair, not fearing. And He knew what you did not know, and He has arranged before you a conquest that you will see soon. Because هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا. Allah Ta'ala sent His messenger with the guidance and the deen of haqq to be dominant over all other adyan. And Allah is witness to this. This will happen. Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam walladhina ma'ahu, and those with him, ashidda'u lil kuffar, they are stern against the disbelievers, enemies. وَرُحَمَاءُ بَيْنَهُمْ, they are very merciful between each other. تَرَاهُمْ رُكَّعًا سُجَّدًا يَبْتَغُونَ فَضْلًا مِنَ اللَّهِ وَرِضْوَانًا. You see them bowing and prostrating to Allah, seeking His pleasure. سِيمَاهُمْ فِي وُجُوهِهِمْ مِنْ أَثَرِ السُّجُودِ. You can see the signs of sajda and obedience in them. ذَلِكَ مَثَلَهُمْ فِي التَّوْرَاةِ مَثَلَهُمْ فِي الْإِنْجِيلِ. Just like the previous believers in the previous books. And the example of this is as a plant which produces its offshoots and strengthens them so they grow firm, just like the Prophet ﷺ. Now his ummah is strong, it has grown and stands upon their stalks, delighting the sowers, subhanAllah. That the Prophet ﷺ was happy to see these strong believers, so that He, Allah, may enrage by them the disbelievers, so they will become the means of displeasure of the enemies of Allah. Allah has promised those who believe and do righteous good deeds forgiveness and a great reward. Allahumma rabba ja'alna minhum. Surah Al-Hujurat we will take. I'll summarize it for you, inshallah. Surah Al-Hujurat is really important for us to know that collectively, what is Allah Ta'ala expecting from the people of Tawheed? Can you close the door, kitchen door, please? If we really believe in Allah and His oneness, then collectively this is the expectation. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la tuqaddimu bayna yadiy Allahi wa rasulihi wattaqullah. Do not put yourselves in front of Allah and the Messenger. Meaning, do not decide any matter, do not take any action, do not do anything individually or collectively without knowing what Allah and His Messenger say about a matter. Can you close the aluminium door as well? And fear Allah. So obey Him in everything. And second expectation, لا ترفعوا أصواتكم فوق صوت النبي ولا تجهروا له بالقول كجهر بعضكم لبعض أن تحبط أعمالكم وأنتم لا تشعرون. So the first is obey Allah and the Messenger. Do not take any step without knowing what they want. Secondly, do not raise your voice above the voice of the Prophet ﷺ. For us, this means do not think you can have an opinion better than the opinion of the Rasul ﷺ in any matter of the deen. Because if you think that, then all your a'mal would be haq. All your a'mal would be null and void, nothing in the hereafter. And you won't even realize, you'll think you're believing. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَغُضُّونَ أَصْوَاتَهُمْ عِنْدَ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ. Those who lower their voices in front of the Rasul. Meaning for us it means those who would listen and obey the Prophet ﷺ and not say, well, the Prophet ﷺ says this, but I think this. Yeah? No. People who obey the Messenger, أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ امْتَحَنَ اللَّهُ قُلُوبَهُمْ لِلتَّقْوَى. Allah Ta'ala says those people who lower their voice in front of the Prophet ﷺ, listen to him, obey him, Allah, He has checked their hearts for taqwa, and they have taqwa. So taqwa means obey Allah and His Messenger. And then collectively, to be collective, Allah Ta'ala is saying that He has put iman in the hearts of the believers, And the sign of that is that they hate disbelief and they hate disobedience and they hate defiance of Allah and the Messenger. This is the believer's heart, yeah, that does not want to disobey Allah and the Messenger. Then Allah Ta'ala mentions that collectively in your collective affairs, you should realize that you are one body of brotherhood. Ikhwa, innamal mu'minuna ikhwa. You are one brotherhood. فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَ أَخْوَيْكُمْ. So make reconciliation between your brothers and sisters in case they have a dispute. And then Allah Ta'ala mentions 6 things for a Muslim community to be a strong community. 6 things. Number 1, do not mock each other. Do not make fun of each other. Number 2, do not criticize and blame one another. Number 3, do not call each other with bad names because this will disunite you. Number 3, do not think wrong of each other. Think good of each other. Do not spy on each other. And lastly, do not backbite. 6 things, yeah? Do not mock. Do not criticize or blame. Do not give each other bad names. Do not have bad expectations, negative expectations or assumptions about each other. Do not spy on each other's private affairs, and do not backbite each other. These 6 things are recipes for disaster and disunity in a community. That's why Allah Ta'ala has highlighted them for us. And then He has mentioned the main criteria that He wants is taqwa. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The best amongst you are those who have the most taqwa. And Allah, He knows. And then the difference between Iman and Islam has been mentioned in this one ayah. What is real true Iman in Allah? إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ ثُمَّ لَمْ يَرْتَابُوا. The true believers are those who believed in Allah and the Messenger and they had no doubt then after this. وَجَاهَدُوا. And then they strive hard. بِأَمْوَالِهِمْ, with their wealth, وَأَنفُسِهِمْ, and their selves, فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, infaq and jihad. أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الصَّادِقُونَ. These are the people true to their claim to be believers. May Allah Ta'ala make us from the true believers. So with that, we come to the end of this group of surahs, group 5. Alhamdulillah, regarding Tawheed and the expectations. Allah Ta'ala expects us to do infaq and jihad and to have a collective system where we are obeying Allah and His Messenger collectively and inviting to it. Tomorrow, inshallah, we will start to look at group 6, which is all about the Akhirah. And we will look at, inshallah, starting with Surah Qaf until wherever we can, inshallah, biiznillah. So with that, we come to the end of the session.